What if I told you your family's food supply could vanish overnight? No theories, no guessing games, just facts. Right now, global food systems are buckling under the weight of unrelenting droughts, halted exports, and skyrocketing fuel costs. Brazil's crops are failing. India isn't shipping staples. And some nations are stockpiling essentials like they know what's coming. One small disruption, just a cyber attack, a regional conflict, or a logistics breakdown, and grocery shelves could empty in hours. But here's the truth that nobody is saying out loud: you still have time to prepare. This video is your blueprint. I'm walking you through 11 essential grocery products you need to secure before August 2025 ends, items that could mean the difference between thriving and struggling during a supply crisis. Stay with me, These aren't random suggestions, these are life-sustaining essentials. Act now, and you'll be ready while others are left in chaos. Hit that subscribe button. Your future self will thank you. 11. Long-term meal insurance, freeze-dried meals. If you're not already stocking freeze-dried meals, you're missing out on the closest thing to a food insurance policy you can get. Freeze-dried meals are lightweight, compact, and store for up to 25 years when sealed. That's 2.5 decades where you don't have to worry about spoilage, pests, or needing a freezer to keep your food fresh. These are shelf-stable powerhouses that can be stored practically anywhere: basements, attics, or even under your bed. What sets freeze-dried meals apart from other emergency rations is their ease of use and nutritional value. All it takes is a bit of boiling water, and in minutes, you have a piping hot meal that's not just edible but enjoyable. Lasagna, beef stroganoff, chicken teriyaki. These aren't the bland, chalky meals you probably associate with old-school military MREs. Modern freeze-dried meals taste remarkably good, giving you much-needed morale in a crisis when everything else feels like it's falling apart. Another major perk is how calorie-dense these meals are. When you're in a survival situation, calories matter more than anything. You're not looking for gourmet dinners. You're trying to keep energy levels high enough to make clear-headed decisions, do physically demanding tasks, and stay alert. Freeze-dried meals are engineered to provide maximum energy with minimal bulk, which is invaluable if you're bugging out or facing restricted storage space. But here's the most pressing issue about freeze-dried meals. They're already starting to disappear from the market. Brands like Mountain House and ReadyWise are seeing a surge in demand, with back orders piling up for months. This isn't some passing trend. It's a clear sign that people are waking up to the grim reality of food supply instability. During COVID-19, the industry saw massive delays in production and shipments. Imagine how bad the shortages could get with a global crisis looming over us. The price of freeze-dried meals is only going to climb as inflation continues to squeeze every corner of the food market. You can buy a few pouches now, or you can gamble on trying to get some during a blackout, food system failure, or grid attack. Your move. 10. The survival multi-tool, apple cider vinegar. Don't mistake apple cider vinegar for some trendy health fad. It's a survival necessity that pulls double and even triple duty in crisis scenarios. While most people think of it as a digestive aid or salad dressing ingredient, this humble bottle is actually a potent tool for cleaning, preserving, healing, and even bartering in a worst-case scenario. For starters, apple cider vinegar lasts indefinitely when properly stored. If you're serious about survival, shelf-stable products like this should be top of your list. Unlike most grocery staples, you don't have to worry about it spoiling or losing its potency after a few months. Its antibacterial and antifungal properties alone make it irreplaceable. You can use it to disinfect surfaces, clean wounds, and even help purify questionable water if you run out of purification tablets or filters. Think about that for a second. How many products can claim to clean both your house and your drinking water while still being safe to consume? That versatility becomes priceless when your medicine cabinet starts running empty, or when first aid supplies are in short supply. The benefits don't stop there. Apple cider vinegar can help regulate blood sugar, a critical factor if your food options become limited, or you're dealing with prolonged caloric stress. It's also known to reduce muscle cramps and fatigue, two issues you'll almost certainly face in a high-stress, physically demanding scenario. A tablespoon mixed with water can be a quick fix for an aching, overworked body. And then there's its role as a food preserver. Long before refrigeration was a thing, vinegar was used to pickle vegetables, eggs, and even meat. Imagine taking a backyard harvest of cucumbers or carrots and extending their shelf life by months. This can turn short-term abundance into long-term sustenance. During a crisis, these homemade emergency rations can make all the difference. But don't just think of apple cider vinegar as something for personal use. It has significant barter value. When supermarket shelves run dry, everyday basics like vinegar quickly become hot commodities. A $5 bottle today could be worth its weight in gold when desperation takes hold. The rising demand for vinegar is no coincidence. Just this year, its market grew by over 6%, and that's tied directly to growing awareness of its utility. With more people cluing into its survival benefits, don't expect it to stay readily available for long. It's cheap, effective, and practically future-proof. The only question is, will you have enough of it when the time comes? 9. Emergency energy in a packet, instant ramen. You might scoff at the thought of instant ramen as survival food, but you'd be dead wrong to dismiss it. These calorie-packed, quick-prep noodles are the ultimate utility player when you need fuel fast. Each packet delivers over 400 calories of much-needed energy with nothing more than hot water, making it perfect for scenarios where fuel and electricity are scarce. Unlike other so-called emergency rations, instant ramen balances a long shelf life, typically over 2 years, with unparalleled convenience. During a crisis, when morale is at rock bottom, a warm bowl of ramen isn't just food, it's a psychological life raft. People underestimated it during the 2020 lockdowns, and guess what? Walmart and Amazon couldn't restock it fast enough. Now imagine what happens when supply chains really start to break down. You won't just hope you had some. You'll regret not stocking up by the case. And speaking of supply chains, there's something you need to know about ramen's future. Costs for wheat, the main ingredient in ramen noodles, have skyrocketed globally since 2022. Add in inflation, rising fuel costs, and export restrictions from key producers, and it's easy to see why ramen prices are set to rise. Asia, where ramen is practically a staple, has already seen costs climb by up to 38% in some regions. Think it'll stay at $1 a pack forever? Get real! Here's a pro tip for survival prep. Skip the cup noodles. Go for the block-style packets, which are cheaper, stack better in storage, and provide more flexibility. Pair them with dried vegetables, canned meat, or even a hard-boiled egg, and you've got yourself a complete morale-boosting meal. Buy them now, 20, 50, or even 100 packs if you're smart. When the world teeters on the edge of chaos and grocery store shelves look like barren wastelands, those who stocked up on ramen will have the edge. Take action or risk going hungry. It's that simple. 8. The Swiss Army powder baking soda. If you think baking soda is just for cookies, think again. This humble, cheap powder is one of the most versatile tools you can include in your survival pantry. From cleaning to preserving, making medicine, and even fire extinguishing, its potential in a crisis is unmatched. For starters, baking soda can clean just about anything. Whether you need to sanitize surfaces during a water shortage or make your emergency cookware usable again, half a box of baking soda and some elbow grease will do the trick. Out of soap? No problem. It works as a hand cleaner and deodorizer, killing odor-causing bacteria in the process. But its utility doesn't stop there. When disaster strikes, you're going to be eating a lot of starchy, canned, and processed foods. That means acid indigestion and heartburn are basically inevitable. Enter baking soda, a natural antacid that neutralizes stomach acid better than overpriced pharmacy tablets. Another overlooked capability is its use in laundry. When you're running low on detergent, adding baking soda to your wash can help clean clothes and cut odors without soap. And here's the kicker. It can even help purify water by neutralizing pH imbalances in acidic or stagnant sources, making them safer to drink. The cherry on top? Baking soda has barter value. When soap, toothpaste, and traditional cleaning products run out, this $2 marvel becomes a luxury item. People will trade food for it, especially once they realize how many problems it can solve. But don't take its abundance for granted. Baking soda production relies on imported raw materials, and disruptions are already causing production bottlenecks. Smart preppers are stashing away pounds of it now while it's cheap and available. Get at least 5 pounds into your pantry, or better yet, grab a dozen boxes. When the power's out, the taps run dry, and you're rationing supplies, baking soda will be worth its weight in antibiotics and clean water. 7. The ultimate survival grain, oats. If you think oats are just for breakfast, you're not seeing the bigger picture. This unassuming grain is hands down one of the most adaptable and essential carbs you can stockpile for long-term survival. It's a nutritional powerhouse loaded with energy, fiber, and protein, and it has one of the longest shelf lives for any grocery store staple. Here's why oats are a must-have. First, they're shelf-stable. Sealed in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, they can last up to 30 years, longer than most cars on the road today. Even without specialized storage, oats will remain good for years as long as they're kept dry and cool. Nutritionally, each 42-ounce container of rolled or steel-cut oats contains around 30 servings. One serving provides essential carbohydrates, 5 grams of protein, and 20% of your daily fiber requirements. That's critical when you're living off non-perishable rations that might lack essential nutrients. Fiber becomes especially crucial in survival situations, as changing diets can wreak havoc on your digestive system. Oats help keep digestion stable, which in turn keeps energy levels high and your immune system strong. The versatility of oats is another major factor. You can eat them as porridge, grind them into flour for bread or pancakes, or use them in soups and stews. Essentially, they're a foundational ingredient that works for any meal of the day. But here's the kicker. Getting your hands on oats might get harder. Canada, the world's leading oat exporter, has been hit with back-to-back yield failures due to heat waves and wildfires. Global oat prices have already risen by 43% since late 2023, and major brands like Quaker are slashing product availability as supply dwindles. Right now, oats are still affordable, $3 to $4 for a 42-ounce container. But the next crop failure or supply chain kink could send prices skyrocketing. If you're smart, you'll buy in bulk. Stash away 50 to 100 pounds of oats while you can still find them, and before the next big shock hits the agriculture industry. When everyone else is struggling to cobble together meals from scraps, you'll be sitting down to hot bowls of hearty oatmeal or warm oat bread. All because you prepared ahead. This is long-term food security in a simple, affordable package. Don't sleep on it. 6. The flavor bomb you can't live without, bouillon cubes and soup bases. If you think rice, beans, and oats are going to cut it in a crisis, you're only half right. Sure, they're staples for calories and energy, but eating them plain every day will crush your morale faster than an empty fridge. That's where bouillon cubes and soup bases step in as absolute game changers. These tiny cubes are pure magic packed into a few grams. They transform bland, boring emergency food into meals you actually want to eat. Drop one into boiling water with rice or lentils, and suddenly, you're looking at comfort food instead of survival slop. The importance of this can't be overstated. When you're dealing with stress, exhaustion, or freezing nights, a hot, flavorful meal has the power to boost morale and give you the energy to push on. Each cube can flavor up to a liter of food, meaning they're incredibly efficient. Not only do they enhance taste, but some bouillon cubes and soup bases provide hidden nutritional bonuses, including dehydrated fats, proteins, or amino acids. These extras are crucial when you're trying to stretch canned goods or bulk grains into something resembling a complete meal. And don't underestimate their barter value. During Venezuela's economic collapse, bouillon cubes were one of the most traded items because people would do almost anything for flavor. Flavor isn't a luxury in survival, it's a psychological and physiological necessity. Now here's the downside. Supply chains are already showing cracks. Chicken and beef bouillon cubes have started to disappear in some regions due to slowed imports and transportation issues. You need to act now because once these items are gone, they'll be nearly impossible to replace. Stock up on a variety of flavors: beef, chicken, vegetable, and even mushroom, and store them in a cool, dry spot. When your bland stockpile becomes hot, satisfying stew, you'll realize just how essential bouillon cubes really are. 5. The future of milk in a crisis: shelf-stable plant-based milk. You might raise an eyebrow at this one, but hear me out. Shelf-stable plant-based milk is one of the smartest moves you can make for your survival pantry. And here's why. When an extended crisis hits, traditional dairy products are useless. They spoil within 24 hours without refrigeration, making them completely impractical for long-term emergencies. Enter plant-based milk. Varieties like almond, soy, oat, and pea protein milk have surged in popularity for one simple reason: they last. These cartons are ultra-high temperature, UHT treated, meaning they're shelf-stable for up to 18 months with zero refrigeration required. That's a big deal in a blackout or power outage. And don't mistake these for thin, weak substitutes. Options like pea milk deliver up to 8 grams of protein per cup, almost equivalent to cow's milk. Meanwhile, oat milk provides a fiber boost, and almond milk often comes fortified with essentials like calcium, vitamin D, and B12. These nutrients become critical when your diet shifts and stress starts depleting your body's stored reserves. Plant-based milks are also filtering into the prepper world for their versatility. You can drink them straight, use them in baking, or add them to coffee or cereal. They also serve as a kid-friendly option, providing much-needed nutrients for growing bodies during extended crises. If you're not convinced yet, here's the wake-up call. Sales of UHT plant milks have increased dramatically in the past year, surging over 40% in some regions, and warehouses are already seeing restock delays. Most of these products rely on highly vulnerable supply chains, as their main ingredients, like almonds and soybeans, are largely imported. Any significant disruption can make them vanish overnight. What's the solution? Buy in bulk now. Stack cartons in your pantry, under your bed, or in any cool, dry space. Rotate them regularly to keep your stock fresh. While others are trying to reconstitute bitter powdered milk, or worse, doing without entirely, you'll have a reliable, nutritious solution ready to go. 4. Survival snacking done right, popcorn kernels. Popcorn kernels might not be on top of your survival shopping list, but they absolutely should be. While most see popcorn as a snack for movie night, seasoned preppers know it's one of the best-kept secrets in survival food. Here's why popcorn kernels are invaluable. For one, they're dirt cheap. A 5-pound bag goes for less than $10 right now. That's hundreds of servings of calorie-dense food for pennies on the dollar. And unlike most grains, popcorn has incredible shelf stability. Properly stored in a cool, dry space, or better yet, sealed with oxygen absorbers, popcorn kernels can last for over 10 years and still pop like new. From a nutritional standpoint, popcorn holds its own. A single ounce has around 110 calories, 4 grams of fiber, and even a bit of protein. It's low maintenance and doesn't require added preservatives to stay safe for years. But more than that, popcorn can be a vital psychological boost. When you've been eating the same monotonous meals for weeks, the ability to whip up a batch of freshly popped, warm, crunchy popcorn is priceless. It's also incredibly versatile. Popcorn kernels are a blank slate. Sprinkle them with salt, coat them with bouillon powder, dust them with spices, or toss them with a bit of powdered cheese, and you've got a tasty snack that feels indulgent even in a survival situation. Fuel-wise, it's efficient. You need way less energy to pop popcorn than you do to cook rice or pasta, making it an ideal option when resources are limited. You can even air pop it over a small candle or improvised stove. Here's the kicker. The clock is ticking on popcorn too. Corn yields in the U.S. Midwest are already suffering from erratic weather patterns, including heat spikes and uneven rainfalls. Forecasts show a 5% drop in corn production this year, and since popcorn is a specialty crop, it's often the first to take a hit during shortages. Why risk it? Buy a bulk bag now. Keep it stored properly. Enjoy its extraordinary shelf life, and hold on to the fact that when the grid is struggling, you'll have a morale-boosting snack that's easy to make and packed with energy. 3. Long-lasting nutrition in a pouch. Stock up on powdered eggs. Think you'll always have fresh eggs in your fridge? Think again. Between avian flu outbreaks, skyrocketing feed costs, and logistical failures in cold storage, the availability of fresh eggs is circling the drain. Prices have soared 60% over the past 2 years, and one more catastrophic supply shock could make eggs completely inaccessible, or outrageously expensive at $15 per dozen. Enter powdered eggs, the ultimate survival food solution. These aren't just some fringe prepper item, they're used by NASA, military units, and Antarctic teams for a reason. Powdered eggs deliver all the benefits of fresh eggs, protein, fat, choline, and vitamin D, without the fragility. Best of all, they don't require refrigeration, they don't spoil, and they can last up to 10 years when sealed in proper containers like #10 cans or Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. With powdered eggs, you've got versatility at your fingertips. Scrambled eggs for breakfast? Done. Pancakes when the grid is down? Possible. Need protein for baked goods or fried coatings in a crisis? Powdered eggs are your answer. Each tablespoon provides 6 grams of protein, making it one of the most concentrated protein sources you can stash. For around $30, you can secure the equivalent of 90 to 100 eggs in a compact can, a deal unmatched by any fresh option. Here's what should worry you, though. Global demand for powdered eggs is surging. China is hoarding supplies, India is doing the same, and U.S. industrial usage just increased by 20% in the last 6 months. Manufacturers and serious preppers are already buying up stock like it's gold because they know what's coming. Your move? Get powdered eggs now, rotate them every few years, and rest assured that you've secured a durable, high-value source of protein. No chickens required. 2. The cheese that survives it all, shelf-stable cheese. Real cheese is one of life's simple pleasures, but when the grid goes down or supply chains disappear, traditional dairy is one of the first things to spoil. Most cheese relies on refrigeration, which means its availability will plummet the moment power outages or transportation bottlenecks occur. That's where shelf-stable cheese comes in, a versatile, long-lasting alternative that could very well become a godsend in any survival scenario. Unlike the processed spreads found in plastic tubs, proper shelf-stable cheese includes wax-sealed blocks, canned cheddar spreads, and freeze-dried options. These are real cheeses, carefully preserved to maintain their nutritional content and flavor for years. Some of these products can last up to 10 years when stored in cool, stable conditions. And no, this isn't some Frankenstein cheese substitute. It's real dairy engineered for long-term storage, much like the options medieval traders and WW2 soldiers once relied on. Why is this important? Because cheese is calorie-dense and nutrient-packed. A single ounce gives you 7 grams of protein and plenty of fats. 2 things your body will crave in a scarcity-driven environment. Plus, cheese provides salt, a critical mineral for hydration and energy regulation in stressful survival scenarios. And in terms of morale, nothing beats the moment when you can add a bit of sharp cheddar to your bland beans or grate Parmesan over plain rice. But don't ignore its power as a trading commodity. When fresh dairy vanishes, shelf-stable cheese becomes a luxury that people will clamor for. Compact, versatile, and highly sought after, it could easily outperform cash in a barter-driven economy. Here's the catch. Import disruptions are already causing supply issues for some shelf-stable cheese varieties. Reports of shortages from Europe and New Zealand are coming in, and craft options are quietly being removed from certain store shelves. If you're not stocking up now, you'll be in for a rude awakening when these coveted products become impossible to find. Act smart. Secure a variety of shelf-stable cheeses now. Wax-sealed blocks, canned spreads, or freeze-dried options. Stack them neatly in storage, and know that when others are scraping through unpalatable substitutes, you'll still have rich, indulgent nutrition on your table. 1. The unsung survival hero, instant mashed potatoes. If you think instant mashed potatoes are just a side dish, you couldn't be more wrong. These shelf-stable flakes of caloric gold could very well become the MVP of your survival stockpile. Why? They're cheap, insanely versatile, and last up to 15 years when stored correctly. First off, instant mashed potatoes check all the boxes for emergency nutrition. A single cup provides roughly 200 calories while delivering crucial carbs, fiber, potassium, and a bit of protein. They're fast. They cook in 2 minutes with just hot water. No chopping, boiling, or extra preparation required. When fuel and time are scarce, instant mashed potatoes are the ultimate low-effort, high-reward food. And don't forget their versatility. By themselves, they're a comforting, filling meal. But add a splash of powdered cheese or milk. Stir in some canned meat or bouillon, and suddenly you've got shepherd's pie, cheesy mash, or a hearty potato soup. They adapt to what's on hand, making them one of the most flexible pantry staples you can own. Here's something else to consider. Potatoes are far more vulnerable than most crops. A single frost or drought can devastate yields and cause global prices to spike overnight. Last year alone, Alberta's major frost destroyed 40% of its potato crop, forcing manufacturers to scramble for imports. The result? Instant mashed potato prices skyrocketed by 19% in just 2 months. And if another weather event aligns with worsening transport issues, as diesel shortages worsen, you can kiss availability goodbye altogether. Act now before prices climb even higher. Grab large, sealed packages of instant mashed potatoes and store them in airtight bins or Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. At $2.50 for 20-plus servings, they're one of the most cost-effective staples money can buy. When your neighbors are stuck eating cold canned goods, you'll be enjoying warm, comforting potatoes in minutes. Don't underestimate how much of a lifeline this simple food can be. Preparing for the uncertain future isn't paranoia, it's practical. The 11 grocery items highlighted in this guide are more than just pantry staples. They're your lifeline when the unexpected happens. From long-lasting nutrition to morale-boosting comfort foods, each product was chosen for its ability to sustain you and your loved ones through challenging times. Time is running out, and the signs of instability are everywhere. Secure these essentials now while they're still available and affordable. Waiting until the last minute could leave you unprepared when shelves are empty and prices skyrocket. Your survival and peace of mind depend on the actions you take today. Start building your stockpile now and set your family up to thrive, not just survive in any crisis. What steps are you taking to prepare? Don't wait, act today.